In today's video, we are going to be taking inspiration from random Gachapon here in Japan and creating art from them. Kind of like prompts, but in random toy form. If you are unfamiliar with what Gachapon are, they are little capsule dispensers for cheap toys you might find at your local grocery store in North America. But here in Japan, they are literally everywhere. And they have trinkets for literally everything. From Pokemon to food to washing machines.
Truly a gacha for everyone. Truly.
Even the gacha machines themselves have a miniature toy you can buy of them. Because I love art prompts so much, I thought it would be a fun idea to grab a few toys and see what sort of inspiration we could take from them. So let's get to gachaponing and get some toys. Our first capsule toy is this hilarious collection of high school girls.
Schoolgirls getting into shenanigans.
Schoolgirls getting into shenanigans. Wow. Wow, they sure are. The poses were just too funny to pass up, so this is of course going to be our first toy, so let's see which unfortunate high school girl we got. Oh, it's a DIY situation. Oh my gosh. Okay, we got probably one of the best ones. It is the high school girl getting hit in the face with a baseball. So let's put her together. All right, so our first piece is her body, and then we've got her legs. Just pop that in right there. And then she comes with a little clear stand. Our high school girl getting hit in the face with a baseball. What sort of inspiration can we grab from her in her hilarious pose? Let's find out. Unfortunately, I feel like this was probably the most uninspiring figure that we got in this set, but as a figure, she is probably my favorite because she is hysterical. Because of the nature of what she is, she's obviously in a school setting, she's obviously playing baseball. I feel like there's not so much that we can really add to our inspiration or imagination. She is what she is, but I thought I would take her and just recreate her, obviously more in my style, make her more shapely, more chunky, shorter, more silly looking, and I thought I would throw her back to many years ago, before we had school uniforms, before we had shoes, and turn her into a cave girl. Because why not? Maybe I just really wanted to draw dinosaurs, I don't know. Either way, I basically just recreated our girl, but made her a cave girl. We have a one-piece sort of caveman outfit. She's using a stick instead of an actual baseball bat, and instead of a baseball hitting her face, we have an orange, because I can only assume cavemen didn't have baseballs. In fact, I'm not really sure what a caveman would have used for a ball. I'm sure there's a lot of round, more sturdy things than fruit, but I figure, I don't know, maybe this is some sort of an orange festival where they bat oranges and everything smells good because oranges are exploding and there's juice everywhere. And then of course we have our little dinosaur friends, and before anyone comments that dinosaurs did not exist with humans, yes I know, but it's so cute to make dinosaurs little pets of humans. So we have her little dinosaur buddies there watching her get hit in the face, and they're trying not to laugh, just looking at her like classic whatever her name is, getting hit in the face and being dumb. And overall, this one was just really fun to make, super bright, super colorful. Although it is the same exact pose, it is such a different vibe, I guess, than the original figure. She's a schoolgirl, she's in today's age, but now we've got a cave girl. She's got her dinosaur friends. I'll be honest, there's not much to say about this first piece though. I will go ahead and say that I am using paper that I am not used to. I brought my watercolor set, but I didn't bring paper. And I forgot in Japan, they don't have very thick watercolor paper. And if you know that there is thick watercolor paper somewhere, please let me know in the comments. But it seems like everything I find in stores is super, super thin, so it curls really easily and also takes so long to dry. I do like cold pressed watercolor paper. I do like how it takes a little longer to dry, but this paper takes so long to dry. So I'm feeling a little bit out of my element, but we got it done. So there it is. There is our first Gachapon inspired piece. A cave girl playing early baseball with an orange. Yikes. Our next toy is canned goods rings, because why not? So let's see which canned good we are going to get. And wow, I can't wait to fashion me like a meat can ring. Wow, if I can open it up. Will I get corn? Will I get fruit? We have sea chicken, so tuna. So it looks like we have the option of using it as a key ring, which honestly is pretty cute on its own. And if my fat finger allows, we can wear it as a ring, which to be honest is kind of hysterical. Oh, can I get it off? The amount of detail in this tiny can of tuna, you can even see the nutritional label, a barcode. Any information you find on an actual can of tuna, you will find on this tiny capsule toy. I mean, that is ridiculous. And I mean, it's just so fashionable too. I mean, will I be wearing this on the regular? Yeah, absolutely. So I absolutely could not resist going out and getting more of these cans because I was out with my friends and we passed the same shop. So I took a chance and got a few more so that I could be decked out while I drew, but holy cow, ignoring the fact that yes, my fingers are fat sausage fingers and I can barely wear them to begin with, they were just so hard to wear and draw at the same time. There were just so many of them and my hand could barely curl up to hold the pencil, so I did have to take them off. Could I have worn them on my left hand? Yes, but then you wouldn't really see it because my left hand doesn't go into frame a lot. But anyways, I did give it my all. Alright, so getting into this drawing, I decided that I wanted to create creatures that were using these canned foods as shells or homes or whatever. I don't know about you guys, but I have a huge list of things that I want to draw, ideas that I come up with, but I just never get around to drawing. And one of those things is actually hermit crabs with different items, whether it be a digital hermit crab coming out of a computer, a trash-inspired hermit crab coming out of a trash can. So taking that similar idea, I created creatures, like I said, with cans on their back instead of shells. On the left we have a small can of corn with a turtle coming out of it and corn pieces going all over the place, and on the right we have some sort of crab, lobster, hermit thing inspired coming out of a can of blueberries? I don't know. I think originally I was going for just a can of mixed fruit, but then I drew all round berries and then I made them all blue, so now they're all blueberries, which is fine. I think the color coordination really works for these two creatures. We have yellow and green on the left and blue and red on the right. Overall, I really like the colors of these guys. I think they were really silly and fun to create and get inspiration from a can of tuna ring. Creating these two little guys just makes me want to revisit my huge list of drawings that I want to get around to and just tackle them. Oh, here's something funny. Watching this footage back, I realized as I decorated the cans for these creatures, the left one is supposed to be a can of corn. Obviously, there is corn coming out of it, but because our inspiration came from a can of tuna, when it came to decorating the can, I wrote tuna on it in Japanese and put some fish on it, yet there is corn coming out of it. The fact that there's already a turtle coming out of this can probably just adds to it, so let's just say there was a huge mix-up and infestation at the tuna factory and a corn turtle. I don't know. There's the drawing. Our next capsule toy is by far my favorite collection of toys. I have been obsessed with what are called office ladies, which are basically these adorable collection of girls who decorate your cup. She hangs out on your cup as you drink, and she looks very unamused and just kind of over it, and I absolutely love that about her. So let's see which one we get. Oh my gosh, this is why I love our office ladies. So let me get a quick cup and show you guys why she is like the way she is and how amazing she is. So what you do is you just take a regular standard cup and then you slip her on, and there you go. You have your office lady hanging out on your cup, ready to be hilarious as you drink. And oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with her. I have probably over 20 office ladies because she's hilarious. And who doesn't want a cup ornament? So unlike our baseball girl, because with the baseball girl we knew she was playing baseball at school, there wasn't a whole lot of inspiration to take from her setting. So when it came to our office lady, because she is just a cup ornament and that is what she is, I wanted to come up with a situation where she would be in this pose not on a cup. So what sort of situation is she getting into that she would be making this pose? This is quite an odd pose, and with the uniform she's wearing, I feel like it can't be something like gymnastics. Like, she's obviously not working out. So where would she be out in public in her uniform making this pose? At first I was thinking maybe she's on a crowded train. So to avoid being crammed into a crowd, she is somehow on top of something doing the splits over everybody. But at the same time, where were her hands? Why were her hands like that? Like, is she holding onto something? It just didn't seem to be adding up right. So the idea I ended up going with was she's jumping. What is she jumping over? Some dogs carrying a stick between them. So the situation that this office lady has gotten herself into is that she is just trying to take a nice lunch break in the park, enjoy some quiet time out of the office, some fresh air. She's walking down the grass and suddenly someone yells, "Look out behind you!" So she looks behind her to see two little dogs barreling towards her with a giant stick in between them, and she has a half a second to decide on what to do. Will she be tripped by these dogs carrying a stick, or will she jump up and do the splits in the air? That is what we went with. Recreating this pose in my style was really fun, but I will admit defeat on her left leg, our right leg? The leg on the right side. I really struggled with perspective, and I will admit I do not practice a whole lot of perspective in my art, so yes, it is very much lacking in that. But overall, aside from that, I think she turned out really cute. Drawing the office lady in my style was just so much fun because I've been admiring her for so long, and it was just really silly to come up with what sort of situation she would find herself in this position, because it's quite an interesting position. Also, this one just turned out really colorful and fun, which apparently I'm getting more into. But don't worry, the earthy tones aren't going anywhere. And there she is. Big boy. It's a mystery. Next up, we have the miniature furniture collection, because who doesn't want a little figure of a tiny chair or whatever we might be getting? So let's see which one we get. All right. And we have... Aw, I was really hoping for a green colored chair because they had some very lovely sap green colored furniture, but it looks like we just got the standard leather furniture, which is kind of lame, but I guess that's the gamble when you do a gachapon. But there's our tiny chair. So this is definitely the weirdest one to take inspiration from. I guess I could have just drawn a character sitting in a chair, but I felt like that was really boring. That is definitely not creative enough for us. We have to do something a little crazy. So I was looking at the chair as I was getting it from different angles. How did I want to draw this chair? Was I just going to draw the chair? I didn't want to just draw the chair. So I realized this chair, how many times have I said chair? Let me know in the comments. This chair would be really fun to turn into a creature. So it might not be exactly the chair redrawn, but we definitely took inspiration from this chair. Oh my gosh, I am so aware of how many times I have said chair, chair, chair. Originally, I was going to create a sort of giraffe-like animal, but then for whatever reason, I started to go into a bird way. I did just want to give this bird 2 legs because birds only have 2 legs, but then the chair had 4 legs, and it just made more sense to go more into the chair. Every time I say chair, I realize how many times I've said chair. This is bad. So after I drew our original creature, I decided to make a baby version, and the idea behind the baby version, I guess, is sort of like Pokemon. So the baby's more of a footstool rest thing. It's round, it's not square, it's only got 2 legs, but it evolves into a 4-legged creature later on, and then I also had to draw an egg, because why not? So overall we have our adult chair creature, our baby chair creature, and our original egg form, and this was a strange one, but I think this is probably the one I had the most fun with because it was the most interesting and different from the actual figure. Even though I do feel like going into it, I was quite stumped. Once I got an idea, I had so much fun with it. Oh, and I guess there are speckles on the chair, so I decided that I would give the baby little white speckles so that when it grows up, the speckles are gone, just like a deer or something. So there it is. There are our one last chair word. There are our chair creatures. And last but not least, it would not be Japan without ramen. So I had to take this capsule toy that combined ramen with slime. Oh my gosh. So this just looks like a miniature bowl of ramen, but I believe it is going to be slime, which, to be honest, not looking forward to, but I really just wanted, oh my gosh, I wanted some ramen. So right away, it looks like a bowl of ramen. We've got our noodles, our broth, a slice of meat, a fish cake, and some bamboo shoots. Let's open up the top. Okay, so it looks like our ingredients are separate from our slime noodles, so I guess you mix them in. This is more of a DIY than I anticipated, and honestly, I am terrified. Okay, let's just put our ramen down. So it looks like we're actually supposed to put this in warm water for a minute because as of now, it's a little too thick to be slime, and I guess you're supposed to soften it up a bit. But for now, can we just talk about how that it looks like a tiny ramen? Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back with our now heated ramen slime. Oh wow, it is very much, oh no, ew, oh no, I'm scared. So it looks like the outside of it got quite liquidy, but the inside is still quite solid, so, oh my gosh, this is, I don't know how I feel about this. It's kind of hilarious, but also disgusting. Wow, okay, so there you have it, guys. I don't even know. This is so weird. It's a little bowl of goopy ramen. Oh my, so there you have it. Okay, let's just create something, shall we? Oh gosh, why? Oh geez. It smells like gack from the 90s. Does anybody remember that? Is anyone old enough to? Even though this is the figure that I was the least excited about owning because it's just so slimy and disgusting, and especially after I had it in my hands and had an experience of just how slimy and disgusting it was, this was the one I was the most excited about drawing because I already had an idea of what I was going to draw as soon as I saw this Gachapon machine. Slime girls are fun to draw, and I knew I had to make a slime girl ramen. Now, I have already drawn a girl inspired by ramen many years ago, but this was something that I definitely wanted to revisit because my art style has changed, my ideas have changed, and I really just wanted to draw a ramen girl. So obviously there were a few ways to go about a ramen girl. Did I want her hair to be the noodles? Did I want to make her into some sort of octopus noodle mermaid thing? Did I want her clothes to be the food and then maybe just have her naked? What I ended up going with was creating a mermaid ramen girl, but the way that her anatomy works doesn't work, but at the same time we're making a girl out of food, so who cares? Basically, she is a normal human body, but then her mermaid tail is where the ramen soup or broth is. So I don't know how her body actually stays connected to her broth tail fin, but it looks cool, so I'm not going to question it. That's basically my motto in art. Don't question it. Just draw it. I also have her feeding a cat a piece of her hair. I just felt like the space over there needed something to fill it in, so why not draw a cute cat eating her hair? Again, don't question it. Obviously the most fun part about this illustration was layering the broth, the brown. It just always comes together so nice when you do layering of watercolor, and it's just the most fun part. Aside from that, it was just really fun to include bits of the ramen here and there. Her hair has the swirly fish cake, there's an egg behind her, there's a chunk of meat behind her. I'll admit she's not the most creative design when it comes to a ramen girl, but who cares? I had fun drawing her, and I think probably the mermaid aspect of her is the most unique part about her, so that was fun to draw. But other than that, there is our slime ramen mermaid girl with a cat eating her hair. Well, here's a question. Does her hair grow back? Or when she takes a piece of ramen hair off, does it never grow back and it's gone forever? Does it hurt to take her hair off? Is it a part of her body? Does she mold? Does she die? You know what? Like I said, don't question it. There she is. And there are all 5 of our Gachapon inspired illustrations. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay golden. But first, a huge thank you to all of my patrons for their support. You guys are the best. If you want early access to my videos, coloring pages, and more, check out the link to my Patreon in the description. Bye!